Hello. William J. Dorsett. I'm a street artist. I've always been an artist, and I moved to San Diego from Fort Worth, Texas in 2004, and I saw someone making these. And so I asked him to teach me. Then I started doing that just for fun, started making money, made more money doing that on the weekends than I did during the week at my real job. So one day my boss got mad at me over something stupid like not meeting quota or something. And he said, you should just quit and go do your palm posies. So I did. I quit and did the palm roses. Then I saw this for the third time in Mexico, seen it a couple of other times in my life, and decided I was going to learn that since I was already making money out this. About 3 years after learning how to do it and practicing, I finally got good at that and then started incorporating stencils. My first Comic-Con when I went, I just did silhouettes of characters and did really well. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start doing stencils. I find a picture I like, and then I go through Adobe and I create a stencil layer by layer for each color. And then I turn that into a standard vector file and then run it through a Cricut machine. Used to do this process by hand by printing out several of the pictures and just cutting it with a razor, but I started getting knots in my fingers and stuff like that. Some friends like, you should get a Cricut machine. So I got one of those things. And so now I run the stencils, and once the stencil's done, I go out and I'll paint the first color, let that dry, then I'll do the next color, let that dry, and then so on and so forth until the character's got all of its colors. And then I'll lay a cover over that, and then I'll spray paint the background from there. The way I see it, if they're interested, they'll talk to me. If they're not, they generally walk off. It saves me a lot of trouble that way. I just kind of paint live throughout the day when people walk by. I used to try to do times, but people don't really stop and watch shows down here. It's just mainly like to get people to buy. Like it used to be for the show, but like now it's just like they're just here for the artwork. Like most people don't even notice you, but I figured for, you know, video purposes, I just do a simple one. So the first thing I do is spray a couple of colors, and then I'll spray black over that, and then lay a matte piece of glossy magazine down in it, and then twist it or peel it up, or sometimes I'll swipe, and that's what gives me the random planet texture. Then I'll spray black on one side, white on the other. That gives me the light and shadows, and then I'll place down the plate. Then I like to spray in a little bit of black, and then whatever my background color is. Today I'm just going to throw in a little blue, and then a little bit of purple. And then I'll throw in some reflections of those colors, because down here I think I'm going to put some water. Then I take the white, I spray a halo around my planet to kind of give it a glowing hue. Then I'll throw in a starburst using a straight edge. Then I'll take my white can and barely mist it by lightly putting pressure on the can, and that gives me the stars effect. Then I'll raise the planet stencil. I'll take my cloud stencil and I'll spray in a couple of clouds. Then I'll take my mountain stencil and create some mountains. Then I take this tool, which is a palette knife, and I'll scrape in the texture of the mountains. Then I add a little green. Then some darker green. Then I'll cover that with some black. And I'll take a sponge, just lightly dab it in that mixture. Now I'll take my palette knife again and draw some stalks, and I'll have some trees. And then I'll take the white and the straight edge and spray it across where the reflected colors are, and then I'll take my finger and rub across that. That gives a nice water effect. And I just sign it. And these usually take about 5 to 10 minutes to dry. If it's got a lot of layers, it takes longer, but something like this takes about 5 minutes, whereas the characters take about 10 minutes or longer. Like, I have art all across the globe. I know for a fact that there are people from every country that I'm aware of that's a country, you know, that have bought my art, you know. So that's a cool feeling, you know, to know that it's hanging somewhere in some other country that I may never even see, you know. That's cool. And I get to be outside all day. Like, who doesn't want to do that?